Hey guys, thank you so much for coming to my channel. I'm Yoko. Today, I will show you 4 kinds of easy plant-based breakfast recipes. One of them are sweet and the other 3 is savory recipe. And some of them are easy to enjoy on the go. So, let's dive in. First recipe is nut butter and jelly rice cake. This is a health-fied version of PBJ sandwich. Onto a rice cake, spread 2 tablespoons of nut butter of your choice. You can use peanut butter like traditional PB&J or almond butter. But today, I just made homemade cashew butter, which is my favorite, so I just used that. And add a handful of raspberries on top and mash them with the back of the fork. This makes fresh raspberry jam. To top this off, I just added pumpkin seeds for the crunch and extra protein, chia seeds for omega-3 fat. You can add any toppings you like. I like to pair this up with green smoothies. This recipe is easy to prepare, and all the fat and protein from the nuts is really satisfying and keep you full longer. So enjoy your rice cake! The next breakfast menu is brown rice and instant miso soup. The traditional miso soup requires special ingredients like combed kelp or burnt flakes to make the broth. But today, we're gonna simplify the recipe and make an instant miso soup. For that, key ingredients are dried tomato and dried wakame seaweed. Flavor in the tomato and seaweed is condensed by drying and will be released when make the soup. If you are not familiar with seaweed, you can find this wakame seaweed at the Asian supermarket. Today we are making miso soup in a glass jar so that you can take it on the go. Into a jar, add half a tablespoon of miso paste, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of wakame seaweed, 1 tablespoon of finely chopped dried tomato, 1 tablespoon of chive, dry or fresh, and 1/3 cup of spinach. So now you got instant miso soup jar ready and you can take it to your office or school. When it's time to enjoy it, just pour 1 cup of hot water. Mix well to dissolve the miso paste into a soup. Wait for a few minutes until the seaweed is soaked and expand. Wakame seaweed expands 12 times bigger in weight. So now you can enjoy warm jar of soup anywhere you want. When I enjoy at home, I like to make the soup in a bowl and serve with bowl of brown rice. I love to add nuts and seeds to brown rice, so I added 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds, 1 teaspoon of black sesame seeds, and pinches of salt. These toppings makes brown rice really satisfying. So now enjoy your breakfast! Next up is mushroom toast. This recipe is inspired by the restaurant I went in the New York City called Two Hands. They had best mushroom toast, and I made my own version of it. For this recipe, let's start by making cashew cream. Soak half a cup of cashew, at least 2 hours, or overnight if you have time. Into a blender, add 1/4 cup of water, cashews, juice from 1/4 lemon, 1/4 teaspoon of miso, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Pop the lid on and blend until everything becomes creamy. I recommend to make cashew cream the night before so that you don't have to worry about in the morning. If you want a nut-free recipe, you can use vegan mayonnaise instead. I have a video about how to make vegan mayonnaise, so please check that out. Next, we're gonna prepare the mushrooms. Cut 2 cups of mushrooms into quarters. Add mushrooms into a pan and cover with the lid and cook over the low heat for 5 minutes. You don't have to add any oil or water. Water from the mushrooms steam themselves. In case mushrooms start to burn, add a splash of water to degrease the pan. Once mushrooms are cooked, uncover the lid. Add a pinch of salt and pepper. And stir and cook until all the liquid is evaporated. This is optional, but before assembling, I'm gonna cut the radish into slices. Radishes add a very nice crunch to your toast. I use purple radish, but any radish works here. Now let's move on to assembling the toasts. Here I'm using sourdough toasts. Spread a few tablespoons of cashew cream and add mushrooms on top. And add a few slices of radishes as well. For the garnish, I chopped up fresh parsley and sprinkle it onto the toast along with hemp seeds. So now you can enjoy freshly made mushroom toasts. I love avocado toast, but when I want something different, this mushroom toast is my go-to and never disappoint me. This recipe is also great for batch make, so you can serve for your whole family or a large group of friends. So enjoy your toast! Next recipe is sushi sandwich, or sometimes called onigirazu. This is basically a sandwich made with sushi rice and wrapped around with nori sheet. Making sushi sandwich is much easier than that looks. So we're gonna start with preparing the fillings. Cut the fire roasted bell pepper into strips. We just need 1/4 a bell pepper worth for one sushi sandwich. Next, cut 9 black olives into halves. Next, we're gonna make garlic teriyaki tempeh. I explained the recipe also in this video, but here's how you do it. Cut 1 block of tempeh into strips and marinate with 2 cloves of crushed garlic, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 1 teaspoon of coconut sugar. And saute them in a pan until golden brown. Add the leftover marinade into a pan and cook until sauce gets thickened. So, now move on to the rice. We are going to use 1 cup of cooked brown rice. Into our rice, add 1/2 tablespoon of roasted and crushed walnuts, 1/2 tablespoon of goji berries, and 1/2 tablespoon of chopped fresh parsley. Mix everything to combine. Tip here is using this cutting motion to mix the rice. If you press the rice too much, the rice is gonna become too mushy. Now onto a nori sheet, add half the rice and make it into a square shape. Then add a handful of spinach on top of it. Try to evenly spread the spinach over the rice. Then add the roasted bell peppers and black olives. Make them flat and even as much as possible. Layer the tempeh strips over it. Then cover them up with rice. Next, we're gonna wrap everything up. Wet your hands and hold both sides of the nori sheet to the center. Squeeze everything in and gently press the stick into the place. Next, wet bottom and top end of the nori sheet and hold in to the center to squeeze everything in. Wet the nori sheet to help them stick into the place if needed. But if you wet the nori sheet too much, it starts to break, so please be careful. Once you fold all the ends of nori sheet to the center, flip it upside down, set aside for a few minutes to settle. If you have uncovered a spot, don't worry, we can fix it. Take a piece of extra nori sheet, cover the naked spot with it, and lightly wet the nori sheet to help it stick to the place. And now you got all covered. When you cut the sushi sandwich, wet the knife to prevent the rice from sticking. Gently cut the sushi sandwich into half and you'll see this beautiful slice. What I love about onigirazu is you can easily take it with you. Take a piece of parchment paper and place the sushi sandwich onto the center. Wrap it around with parchment paper. And secure it with cooking twine or rubber band. So take your essential items along with your delicious breakfast. and you can bite into it like a regular sandwich. So here is 4 plant-based breakfast recipes. I hope you find some inspiration, but hopefully give it a try. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.